welcome to a late night weekly tarot reading. So the vibes are really good right now, especially since I just started your reading. Like, I feel really good. I feel like somebody's floating. Alright, I'm sure that's a metaphor. Alright, so your oracle message is life restored, period. Priestess of the Phoenix. So let's see why you're feeling like you're floating. Okay, let's see why you're lifting off of the ground spiritually. Spiritual resurrection is gifted to you now. Whatever part of you or your life you thought to be dead is being revived and will flourish back into life. Just as the phoenix rises from the fire, transitioning from death into life, so too will you rise again, healed and renewed. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't have to do much talking on that. Beautiful. Three of Cups. So you got some good karma, Libra. Beautiful karma coming your way, baby. I don't even want to call it karma, but just for lack of better words, and everybody knows what karma is, so we'll just use that for now. But you have some good things coming your way. You've been putting in a lot of good things, and, you know, naturally, you get what you give, right? So you have a lot of beautiful things coming to you because you've been putting in a lot of work. I feel like it's going to come in ways of feeling happy. Sorry, y'all. Don't mind how I look right now. I'm gonna go to sleep after I finish these readings. But yeah, so you're gonna be having a lot of like emotional type of connections that are just really beautiful. You're gonna be relating to people in a very beautiful way, which is always great for a Libra. But not just that, you're going to be just having really good times, laughter, joy, happiness. So let's see what your weekly reading is looking like. Okay, so we got some interesting cards coming out. Alright, so we got the moon in reverse. So you're starting to see things for what they are. The truth is starting to make a lot more sense to you at this point. You're not trying to be overly emotional. You're not trying to sugarcoat anything. You're looking at things for the way that they are. And sometimes that can be painful, but in your case, it looks like it's serving you really, really well. I see the lovers are in reverse. So in the beginning of the week, you could be feeling a little out of sync. I feel like some of you guys have just went through some sort of breakup or some sort of disconnect from a person, but now you're able to truly be happy. So some of you have been needing to have this release, and I think it's actually going to serve you very well. You want to make sure you stay in the moments of happiness, okay? Whatever happiness, however it comes to you, stay in that moment. Don't think about the future, and don't think about the past, for sure. All right? Nine of Cups, because this is what you wanted. Okay, so a lot of you've left a situation or a person behind that was weighing you down, and I think that's why you were feeling like, well, I think that's why I was feeling as if you were floating. Your spirit is lighter, your spirit is a bit more fulfilled because you're leaving baggage behind, physically and also like spiritually, you know. So that's actually really, really beautiful. Okay, so we got some beautiful, it's like you leave somebody behind and then you start to automatically just feel emotionally better about yourself. In the middle of the week, we have this Princess of Swords energy. So in the middle of this 7 days, I do see you kind of getting to the point where you start to have some negative thoughts. I wouldn't say negative, I don't want to put it that way, but you just start reflecting on things that have ended recently or maybe even further back into your past, and you don't really want to stay in that moment, but for some reason it's coming up, so maybe you do need to actually analyze why these thoughts are coming up. Yes, here you are, Justice. So you're looking at how things have kind of balanced out, and you may or may not be okay with the circumstances, but understand that this is just a moment for you to reflect and nothing more. You don't need to try to fix it. You don't need to try to understand it. It's happened. It died. Things die. Everybody has to go at one point. I'm not talking about a person, but I'm saying everything living on this earth must go at some time, including relationships. Not everything and not everyone is supposed to move forward with you. And that's just life. And I feel like you're justified in this because you're happy. So that means that they lost out. They did something to you, you know. We all play a part, but their karma is losing you. We have Strength in reverse. So you want to make sure that you're not avoiding certain things that may come up, certain feelings that may come up, with you really analyzing things that have ended. Because there may be some resentment, there may be some hurt, there may be some regrets, you know, and you don't have to accept those energies, but you do need to acknowledge that they're there so that you can move forward with a more clear understanding that it did not work out and it's okay. It's kind of like with anything, even if it's not a relationship. This could be maybe you just lost somebody important to you in your life, and you know, you don't want to be sad, you don't want to, you know, harp on it, but you do need that moment to realize they're not here anymore, and that's okay. So it's kind of like, you know, really realizing and releasing a lot of the energies that are tied to things that just to the issues in your life that have just ended. But you're going to be fine. Just don't stay stuck in that energy, okay? At the end of the 7 days, we have the 7 of Wands. So at the end of the 7 days, you are going to be putting in a lot of work, I feel, in your career. You could be putting in some sort of like physical upgrades within whatever you do as a career, or whatever you do passionately, or whatever you do creatively. So for example, if you have a business, you're working on your website, you're buying new products, you're working on your business cards, etc. So depending on what you do is going to determine how you're making an upgrade. But the only way that this is a good thing is if you actually put in the work, okay? So I want you to take your mind off of everything else and focus on your project that you're working on, especially at the end of this week, okay? And that's going to help you also kind of move away from that negative thought patterns that you were having. Yes, okay, so it's time to make a decision. You got to start making decisions in your career. You got to start making decisions on how to invest in yourself and how to really get things to get moving within whatever you're working on. Otherwise, it's just going to be standing still. You got to make some movements, okay? Make some choices. Take a risk if you need to. As long as it aligns with you moving up within your career and whatever you're working on, it's you know, be smart about it, but don't just sit there and don't make a decision, because then you're not making any progress, you know? Make it work. The message I'm getting is make it work. All right. And we have the 4 of Pentacles. So you don't want to spend that much money. I think you're thinking the more you spend, the better it'll come, but Spirit is saying not necessarily. So you may want to save up for something that you've been working on and maybe deal with it. Maybe try to do it yourself. Or maybe if you're choosing between the cheaper version and the expensive version, go with the cheaper version. It probably will work just as fine. So it depends on what you're doing, obviously. Also, keep whatever you're working on to yourself, okay? So there's a lot of different moving parts here. I think, let me get one more card on this career situation. What's the outcome? Judgment. So you are the judge of how this comes out, okay? So don't think about other people's opinions. This is probably something very artistic for you, okay? And I want you to be very comfortable with what this is. So put your focus into it, because you have a lot of good energy. A lot of good energy. And a lot of people are going to appreciate what you're doing and what you're working on. And a lot of what you want is here. Just don't get stuck in that mindset of thinking that things are just negative and sad and blah, 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 blah. Acknowledge it, move forward, and really start to put all of that energy into whatever project you're working on and see how it blossoms and see the outcome. All right? So Libra, that is your weekly message. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be here for more weekly readings, you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Also, I go live every Sunday. So if you want to be here for that and get your questions answered, all you have to do is subscribe so that you know when I go live. Also, I'm just kidding. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, Libra.